Welcome to the Warband, a World of Warcraft podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Swaglock, and with me today, for the first time ever on this podcast, a man you have never once heard from before in your entire life, my co-host, Rooster. What? I'm just kidding. It's chicken.
What?
It's just chicken.
I mean, for now, it's chicken.
Same chicken who's always been here.
I'm actually working on changing my gamer tag. Just kidding.
Really? If you had to change it, what would you change it to? Like, if you had a do-over, what would you pick?
I don't think I could. I don't know. Like, to be honest, I have no idea what I would change it to if I changed my gamer tag. I was thinking about this the other day, though. I was like, I can't go through the rest of my life with my gamer tag being chicken. Like, that's just weird.
Well, you're stuck with it. I think about it occasionally, because like Swaglock was like a nickname I had kind of been given by some students years ago.
Yeah, but that works.
It works, except dude, here's the problem though. I don't play a warlock.
Okay, but like, you know.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with World of Warcraft, but everybody's gonna assume I play Warlock. I go by Swag. Swag makes sense to me. That's usually what I go by, but actual handle is Swaglock.
I think it's okay, to be honest. Like, I like the name. Yeah, you're right. I mean, we pretty much do only call you Swag. Like, I've never once called you Swaglock ever in my life.
No, never.
Like, that just feels weird.
Swaglock.
Feels weird. Hey, Swaglock.
Yep.
That's just weird.
It feels weird even when people call it to me. So,
anyways, what's going on, brother? How have you been?
Not too bad. Doing pretty well today. Been a busy day, so mine's a little scattered, kind of all over the place. But that's normal. That's normal for Sunday.
I literally was about to say, how is that any different from normal?
Yeah.
Like, you are
a pretty normal Sunday.
I was going to say, well, bro, you are the most scattered brain person I know. It's one of the best things about you.
That's pretty accurate.
You're literally everywhere at once and simultaneously one place at all times.
Dude, I will say that's like one of the funniest things at work. People ask me sometimes, they're like, dude, Josh, can I ask you a question? I'm like, yeah, what's up? Or I guess they don't call me Swag at work, but whatever. And they're like,
what if they did?
Yeah, there was a season when they did jokingly, but
I know. Yeah, go ahead.
But anyways, they'll ask me and they'll be like, dude, what even is your job? And I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, you just run around and do everything. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty much it. That's about it. Yeah.
That is my job.
Just run around.
But yeah, I mean, I don't blame them. You do a lot.
It's fun though. I like keeping busy. I don't. I like my rest too. Like, I love like just being on the veg on the couch and rest stuff. But like,
yeah,
when I'm like in the zone, like I like having multiple things on my shoulders, right? Like I like balancing different projects.
Yeah, no, I mean, that makes sense, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really blame you, but anyways, what is your how's your week in WoW? How you get a lot of stuff done in WoW?
Yeah,
I have so many questions for you, actually. How was your big push to get all your 12s and 13s done? How was mythic raiding? How was spending time with your wife and WoW? All of those hardcore questions right after this commercial break. Just kidding. Go ahead.
Yeah, great question. Yeah, because I went into this week and I was like, dude, I'm going to get all my 12s done before Remix hits. Yeah. I'm finally going to do it. I'm going to get, KSL, Keystone Legend. I did not, actually. I didn't do it. I didn't do it.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't do it.
How close are you, though?
Not even close.
How far away are you?
I only did 2.
You only did 2 keys? I thought I saw like a lot of talk in Discord that you were really trying to push.
I did try to push.
Oh.
If I'm honest,
try, I guess.
If I'm no, I tried, but I didn't try. I don't know. Can I be honest? It's kind of a sore subject.
Okay.
I want, like, I don't know, man. I'm in this weird spot where, like, I went into this week so committed to do it. Like, I was so ready to do it. And then I didn't do it. and I'm kind of bummed with myself. Like, I'm actually kind of annoyed.
Really?
Like I was actually, before recording this, I was literally laying on the couch thinking about how disappointed in myself I am for not getting Keystone Legend this week.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because
Remix.
Remix starts on Tuesday, and so like once Remix starts, like all the boys are gonna be doing that, right? Like I'm losing the crew. They're gonna all be doing Legion Remix and grinding there and doing all that stuff. So the opportunity to really like push it with friends kind of goes away, and I'm sure people will still offer, be like, oh swag, I'll do it. Just let me know when you want to run, and like we'll go run, which I really appreciate. Like I do really appreciate that a lot. I think it's tough, if I'm having a moment, if I'm having a moment of honesty on the podcast, right? Like a moment of honesty on the podcast, I'm having a really hard time balancing finding good time to play now that I've gotten married, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, dude, that's 100%, dude. That makes so much sense.
Yeah.
I'm like, no cap, like that literally makes a lot of sense. Like it's a big change. I mean, you could play WoW whenever you wanted before, man. Now it's like, okay, like I can only play. Well, not that you can only play. It's not like your wife is like holding your head over the guillotine saying, you can't play today. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, obviously, like it's there's some to and fro, but you probably don't want to play. You're probably like, I'd rather just spend time with my wife,
Yeah, and that's where it gets difficult, right? Because I think there's a few different, there's a few different pieces to the puzzle, right? And so like, we had like right now we're probably moving sometime this within the next year into like maybe a two bedroom apartment. And if that happens, then like there'll be like I'll probably just we'll take a room for like gaming and music stuff, which will be good. But for right now in a 1-bedroom apartment, my gaming setup's kind of like in the living room or the family room or whatever you want to call it, the main living space, or the main living space, and that's tough. That's tough because like at night, I'm definitely a little bit more mentally acute at night. That's where I want to work on projects and do things and whatnot. But that makes it tough because if I want to like run keys, I'm trying to communicate with people. I'm trying to call things out. The adrenaline's pumping. I'm screaming. It's probably 1 a.m.
Screaming?
I'm not screaming.
Is it actually 1 a.m.?
No, I'm exaggerating a little bit. But
bro, you stay kind of late.
And so I think what happens is like it's hard to game at night, right?
Yeah.
Because the wife wants to go sleep. She wants her view to sleep. She needs it. She's got work in the morning, right? Like stuff's going on, and I'm like keeping her up because I'm a fiend. I'm a fiend who will slam like I can't say an energy drink name until they sponsor us on the podcast, but I'm a fiend who will like slam an energy drink, right? 9 p.m. And just like,
dude, that's nuts.
Yeah, but I don't have any trouble like sleeping afterwards. It doesn't affect my sleep cycle.
Okay, that's fair, but still,
I think it's like an ADHD thing. But right, and I'll go. But the problem is like, it's hard. Like it's hard to balance because then you're just keeping like the other person, right? Your spouse has to suffer because you're wanting to run keys with the boys, right? So now they're laying there like, I can't fall asleep, dude. My husband's in the other room like yelling at people about kicks or interrupts or something.
What's a kick?
What's a kick, right? What's a kick, man? Do you even know what a kick is, right? Like that's all she's hearing it through the wall, right? Do you even know what a freaking kick is? And so that's keeping her up. And then the other hard thing though is like I come home from work, right? And I don't work super late, general 9 to 5. So I come home from work. And I'm going to be honest, dude, I love World of Warcraft. I love playing World of Warcraft. But when I come home from work, dude, the first thing on my mind isn't WoW. I see my wife. I'm just excited to be with her. There are days I drive home where I'm driving home, and the whole time I'm driving home, I'm like, dude, I'm going to get in. I'm going to go do some dungeons. And it's going to be awesome. I can't wait to get home and run my dungeons. And I get home, and I see my wife, and I'm like, you want to cuddle and watch TV? Right, like the moment I get home and I see her, boom, all those plans out the window because I'm just like,
that's the most manly thing I've ever heard.
I'm like, that's my best friend. I just want to hang out with her. That's all I want to do. All I want to do. So, right, like, and so then what happens is like I'm hanging out with her the whole evening because, listen, man, listen, dude, she's better than dungeons. I promise you, right? And then finally she's like, oh, I'll head to bed, and I'm like, oh, now I can do dungeons. Except by that point now I'm just making her stay up later when she was ready for bed. And so then I was like, okay, well I'll try it. Like I'm off work on Fridays, right? And she works Fridays. So I was like, I'll just do it while she's at work. Nobody's online. Nobody's around.
Yeah, nobody's really online.
So then I was like, okay, I'm gonna start doing like arenas and stuff, because that's like less commitment, like doing some solo shuffle arenas.
Yeah.
And so I started doing solo shuffle arenas, and then yesterday I had to like jump up for like a little emergency that happened to go help out. I shouldn't have been doing arenas at that point. I probably shouldn't have been. That was on me. But I like jumped up, had like X out of the game real fast and go help. And then that just like chonks your arena rating. Like if you have to bail in the middle. Yeah, it kills it. And so then I looked at my arena rating and I'm like, dude, this is like minimum like 5 hours, 6 hours to make up for like that moment of like fixing something. I'm not doing this. I'm done arenas. So
I'm done with arenas.
It's an interesting point where like I'm just at right now of trying to figure out how important some of these achievements actually are for me, right? Trying to figure some of that out and trying to value that. And that, I think that's where it gets tough, right? And figuring out what I can be a part of and can't be a part of. I just have to be more selective, right? Like, which is weird. Sure. It's just a different season of life, right? We talk to people in the Discord all the time who love delves. And I notoriously kind of talk crap on delves a lot, right? I notoriously talk crap on delves a lot. But I'll talk to people who love delves, and they're just like, Swag, in this season of life, I got kids. I got work. I got all these things going on. And I can't commit to a 30, 40-minute dungeon, right? Like, but I can go into a delve and start killing things in the delve. And then when my kid's crying, I can get up and go help them out. And my character will sit there, right? And then when I sit back down, I continue the delve, right? So, right? Like, there's just different seasons of life. And I'm fresh into a new season of life of figuring out what things actually matter and what things don't matter. And how to maximize the time I have. Like, I love my guild. We'll do a little promo shout out for our guild later for people who want to join. But I love my guild. And maybe like 2 years ago, dude, I would have been at every guild event that we were doing. Every single one. I'm at all of them, right?
Yeah, you would have been.
I literally
100%.
had, if I wasn't at the guild event, I'm sitting in my apartment in the dark by myself thinking about how lonely I am, right? Like, those were the two options, right? Either go do stuff at the guild or just, I don't know, sit on the couch and eat ice cream. And although ice cream's not bad, sob quietly, right? And now it's like I see like most guild. Like I don't go to most of our guild events. I go to the raid, and then I run our Keystone event, but that I go to sparingly. Like I go to if I know I have the time to go to it. But I've actually kind of rebuilt that event so that I don't have to be present at it if I need that time for myself.
Yeah, if you don't want to be,
right? But a good example of that is we were raiding last week, right? And our team's trying to push Mythic. And Thursday we just didn't quite have the people to run Mythic. We just the team wasn't there. We were missing a few people, and we didn't have enough to fill in for the full 20. And so they opted to go do Heroic Raid instead. And to be honest, to be totally honest, and for any of our raiders who are listening, I love you guys. I love my wife more. Okay? Let me just put that out there. Love you guys. Love my wife more. And I'm at a point right now where I just can't commit time to raid for the sole purpose of helping somebody else out. Right? It's just not something I can put on my schedule, right? And so I was there. I was there because I'd already shown up and the invite already came out, but I didn't know because I was like running late. Work kind of held me up. So I was like getting there like 5-10 minutes late to raid. So I get the invite, I show up, we kill the first boss, and like halfway through the boss, I'm like, wait a second. Why aren't these mechanics happening? Well, the ad's not spawning on. Right? I was like, wait a second.
What's going on?
I don't think this is Mythic. Right? Like I went in thinking we were doing Mythic. I'm like, wait, dude, the healing feels kind of easy right now. Like, what's going on? What's going on, right?
What?
And immediately,
what are you talking about?
And immediately I was like, oh, dang it, dude. I at this point I can't back out. Like you're in there, I'm not gonna turn around and be like, hey guys, you're not playing up to my standards, so I'm gonna leave. No, they're great people. It's just they didn't have the crew to do Mythic, and they already set that time aside, so might as well do something. But for me, it was like, I can carve that time out if the reward is there. But if the reward isn't there, it's hard to carve that time out. I'd rather reclaim that, right, and use it for something else. it's just different, a different season of life, and it's a good season, right? Like, I know I'm talking about like all these things that are like, oh, this is difficult and this is difficult, but it's just figuring it out. Overall, though, it's a good season. I'm disappointed, I think, in things that I've wanted to achieve that I've had to kind of acknowledge that maybe right now I haven't figured out how to balance it well. And until I figure out how to balance it well, it's just not going to be something I can achieve. As I told you, I went into this week. I went to my wife, dude. I went to my wife and I was like, yo, I'm going to be playing WoW a lot this week. Like a lot this week. And I'm getting these dungeons done. I just, it's happening. I need to get these dungeons done. I really want to achieve this. This is a big deal to me. Like, I want to do this. And she's like, okay, cool. Totally understand. Totally get it. And then I just didn't. I think like the first night I ran a couple, got a couple 12s done. It was great. The second night, I think on Tuesday, Tuesday we ran a couple. I'm trying to remember what the schedule looked like. And then I tried like again another day or something, and we didn't time it. Like it actually kind of didn't work out. And then the group kind of fell apart after that. And I was just like, whatever. I'll go hang out with my wife. And then proceeded to just hang out with my wife every night instead. Right? Like, because then we had raid Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah. And so Friday comes along, and my wife comes home from work. And I'm like, I know I should be running these dungeons, but I really just want to hang out with my wife because I was raiding the last 2 nights. Right? I couldn't commit. I couldn't commit to like what I said I was going to do. But again though, right? Like it's a different season of life, and learning to balance that. And it's funny because some people are probably listening to me right now, like, why is Swag going off about married life? But the reality is I guarantee we have so many viewers who are listening right now chuckling, who are like, yep, Swag's figuring it out. We get it. We've been through that. And but it's funny because it's so good. I'm just having to remind myself, like, hey, look, I'm making intentional changes in my life. Yeah. Because I found something. Dude, you're doing it. I found something that like means more, right? And learning how to now balance that. And learning how to balance that. So that kind of plays a part, right? And it's tough too, because right, like it's not just about playing WoW, but it's all the time committed around WoW, right? Like even the podcast, doing the bonus content for Patreon, anything extra like that, even sitting down to build teams for like the guild, right? For the weekly keys event, right? Like all of that gets lumped into gaming time, right? That's ultimately gaming time. And so at one point for me, it was like, oh, this is all different. It's all different time. One's creative time and but now it's all just like, no, this is Swag leisure time. Like how much of that can I actually take up? And so there becomes a question of like, oh, I can start making YouTube videos again. I can start streaming a lot more again. I can do all these things, but then I'm never actually going to play World of Warcraft. I'm just going to always be forever making content about a game that I can't actually enjoy or play. So that's kind of been my experience right now this week of like learning to balance that, right? Just kind of learning to balance that, learning to accept it, being content, just being content with what I am achieving, what I am doing. And it's okay. Like, it's okay if I watch other people achieve things that, right? Like, I can be a little competitive, I think, and that's hard for me where I'm like watching people who I know I'm on like the same skill level as, and they're like surpassing me, right? They're just surpassing me. But they're in more. They're playing more. They're like, right? Like they're putting the time in. They're just putting the time in. And I have to acknowledge it. Like, this is just a season of my life where that's time that I can't put in. Yeah, it just is. And I suspect, this is my suspicion, as my marriage continues forward, right? I will become more skillful in that time management, right? Of learning how to utilize that well and honor that time well. And right now it's kind of like I'm trying to live like I once did, and it just doesn't work that way. So, but it's been so good, dude. It's been so good, and I don't think I could have possibly married a better human being. Like, oh my goodness, it's been wonderful. It's been wonderful. Like, even in the moments when my wife does talk to me, she's like, "Hey, I think you're spending a little too much time there." I can tell that she's like tried to wait till like until it was just too much, right? Like it's like past midnight. And raid's been done for like 45 minutes, and I'm just like yelling at the officers in officer chat about something, right? And she's like, "Hey, can you finally come to bed?"
Just like, Swag, get to bed, you jerk. Yeah. And you're like, "Oh crap."
Yeah. Oh, crap. I've lost track of time. I need to wrap up. So just
There
kind
you
of
go,
learning.
See, past swag would always come up with ridiculously crazy things that had happened to get him out of things. Like, oh crap, my cat got stuck in the dryer, and then you would leave.
Yep.
So I think you just got to return to those kind of things.
Yeah, I still do sometimes when I leave. Well, what I would do. So this is actually where it's really funny, because we have usually after raid we have like an officer discussion about like, hey, here are things that went well, here are things that didn't go well. What's the plan for next week, right? Kind of just like a follow up, and then after that we just kind of chill because we're all friends. We like hanging out, we like chatting, like it's fun, right? And I did this thing for the longest time, and I still do it sometimes, where as soon as raid's over, I'll be like, yo guys, I'm gonna go. My dad's helicopter just caught on fire, and then I'll just like leave voice chat, like instantly leave voice chat and just go head up to the officer voice chat, and everyone else is just like, yo, wait, what did Swag just say? What just happened? Right? And I'm just sitting waiting for like the other officers to show up or something. And so it was funny to me because they all knew that I'm just goofing and hopping up to a different voice chat, but no one else can see it. Like no one else knows, which makes it funny.
And then everyone's just like, what?
Yeah. Also, what I will say, what I left this out of the conversation. This is also probably an important part of the conversation in terms of Swag not getting all of the things done this week that he probably should have got done. So I will also admit this probably plays a big part into it. I don't know why this didn't come to mind first. I also played a lot of the alpha.
Oh yeah.
So we're talking about reasons why I didn't get all my keys done. I also did a lot of alpha this week.
Yeah, you did do a lot of alpha. That's fair. I didn't really think about that one, to be honest.
Yeah, that was a huge privilege to be able to go in there and check things out and try stuff like this early on and see. Dude, by the way, and I'm sure we'll talk about plenty. If I could just say one thing about the alpha, I'm blown away with how beautiful Silvermoon is as a city. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, dude, that's kind of
gorgeous.
Sweet.
Yeah,
to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude. Well, come on, bro. We'll definitely be talking about it here in like 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Basically, as soon as I have the chance to basically say that I did nothing in WoW this week. Just kidding. I did a few things.
Makes sense. Yeah, what did you do in WoW this week, Chicken? I just ranted for 20 minutes.
Yeah, I'm pretty used to that. So what I did...
Oh my gosh. The call out, dude.
Lol. Just straight roasted him. Anyways, yeah, so I did a couple things, ran some dungeons, nothing crazy. I did some bonus content for the good old Patreon. That's always fun. And that was pretty much it. I've kind of been, in that period, like I've talked about in the past, where, and I touched on it on the Patreon of, I'm in that period of where I feel like I know a drought is coming for me. Like I feel like I'm mentally burnt out from the game, similar to, how you feel mentally burnt out from work and you're like, I need a vacation.
Yep.
And I feel that coming, and a part of me is like, it needs to happen in the next couple weeks. And that's probably why at the end of the day, I probably won't do, what's it called? The Keystone Legend. I'll probably just give up on it and literally run 110 freaking I was about to call it Castle Nathria, the freaking Shadowlands dungeon. That doesn't answer it. The one that I haven't been running, I don't remember what it's called.
The dungeon you haven't been running. Halls of Atonement.
Halls of Atonement, that one. That stupid dungeon. I'll probably just do it, get Keystone Hero, and get my last portal and just call it a day. That's probably going to happen at some point. I do still want to run the raid at some point. This is the only expansion that I probably have waited this long to do the raid. So I'll probably jump into like an academy night with the guild and do a raid.
Dude, definitely. Yeah, the academy nights are fun.
But low key, I think I'm probably just gonna do that at some point and just like kind of chill out, maybe take a good break from WoW. Not necessarily a full break. There is one thing that I'm like, I kind of just want to take like time and do this before, and this kind of like gets me out of that mentality of of like running dungeons and doing that kind of stuff, and kind of just puts me on this is kind of just like, hey, I can jump in and play the game for an hour and work towards this. I really want to get the World Soul Searching achievement. I don't know if you saw that recently got announced. I think it's supposed to come out at 10.2.5. But it's basically like the all-encompassing, like completing the War Within meta achievement, that kind of thing.
Yeah. I know Lex goes for those all the time.
Yeah, but the mount is the car from the first fight in Liberation.
The car from the first fight. Oh,
like the boss,
that's sick.
Like
yeah. What's her name?
Vixie.
Vixie, yeah, her tank
Vixie full
thing.
throttle. Yeah, I'll send it to you real quick. But yeah, it's super cool mount. Like I'm like totally like all about those mounts in WoW that are like, hey, this is a mount from like a person, or like this is a mount from a fight. Like I think that's why the robot crab, like the Halandris mount, is one of my favorite mounts, just because it's literally, hey, we took this literally from Halandris and basically made it rideable. And low key, I think those are like the best mounts in the game. But this is a really cool mount, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
So I might just take time and slowly work towards that as just like a little bit of a side quest kind of deal, literally side quest, doing some of the questing. I mean, obviously the raids and those kind of things I'll have finished, but I think there's some delve stuff that I'll have to do, and of course just the general like achievement stuff from the zones and stuff like that. But I'm pretty hyped to do it. I think it'll be a good just kind of cool down from the actual War Within. Just, hey, like this is casual, just get on, maybe play for a half hour, do a little bit, like maybe an hour. Just kind of work towards it, you know. I think that's gonna sum up my season of WoW for this time, until something comes out, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. So,
well, absolutely.
Yeah,
right?
I mean,
taking breaks like that's good, right? Like taking time.
Yeah, I think it is. It's healthy, right?
Mm-hmm. But also too, I love what you said. Like, what are those just things I can do that aren't like the same old that I'm always doing, right?
Yeah.
So like, if you're feeling burnt out and all you're doing is dungeons all day, maybe it is good to say, you know what, I'm gonna go work on some like meta achievements. I'm gonna go work on collecting something, right? Now that might not do it enough for some people. Some people might be like, oh, actually no, I need like a full break. That also works.
Yeah.
But there's a value to, I think, for a lot of people to be like, no, I just need to do something different, right? It just has to be different.
100%. Yeah, it's not the full break necessarily. It is really just like, I just want to do something different for a little bit. And don't get me wrong, Legion will kind of work as that. Like, I'll definitely play Legion Remix without a doubt. But at the same time, it's like, like Legion Remix is basically just going to be a different like dungeon pool and different things like that. I'm still going to go in, do mythic dungeons, raid, like the works, right?
Yeah.
So it's going to feel similar, but eerily different. So yeah, we'll see. I think doing the meta achievement will be fun. I think it's just something that I got to work for. It'll kind of feel like a wrap on the expansion. So that does feel pretty good doing this.
Good.
But yeah, we'll see. Should be fun, right?
I think so. Those are always really cool to do. I always have like fun like looking back on those moments and be like, yeah, I did that. That was cool that I did that.
Yeah, right. So we'll see. No, it'll be good. So yeah, what is going on in the alpha? If you wanna kind of touch on the alpha a little bit, and we can go into all the findings from the alpha. There's a lot of findings from the alpha, obviously. We can kind of go through and talk about those. And if you want to just give your general thoughts on what you feel about the alpha, then we can touch on those. What do you think?
Yep, absolutely. I'm happy to talk about the alpha. I'm also simultaneously sitting here making the graphic for the skill keys event.
Oh, well, we can come back to it.
No. I don't want this to in any way hinder skill stuff. I was just joking that I happen to also be doing both at the same time. That's all. I just thought it was funny. That's all.
That's okay. It's okay. Hey,
No.
things happen, dude. It is a-okay. Do you want me to?
No. You're good. You're good. I'm happy to talk about. I'm happy to talk about the alpha, which has actually been, dude. The alpha. I'm gonna be honest, bro. It's so good. I've enjoyed it a ton. I've enjoyed it tremendously. So, a couple things to keep in mind. It's an alpha build. It's not a like a fully working, everything's perfect. Like some days player housing works, and then some days things just won't clear out. You'll click clear on it, and it'll disappear for a second, and it just comes right back.
And you're like, whoa.
Yeah. So things are definitely a little buggy. Things are a little wonky. But again, this is early build. This really isn't meant to be a super playable build. It's just meant to be like, hey, check a couple of these things. One thing that they talked about for sure is how I think they're making this alpha a little bit more public than normal, simply because of all the add-on changes and UI changes, and they want early feedback on that, so that when they when we give feedback, they have time to actually fix things.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense, right?
Yeah, but I don't even know where to start in terms of talking about the alpha. I'll just talk about the things that I did try. I'll talk about the things I did try, right? So right off the bat, because I was curious, I made a blood DK.
Oh man.
Partly because that's just brand, right? That's my brand. Even though I'm playing Shaman right now,
that's fair.
I want to try blood DK out. I know they're simplifying a lot of class builds. Blood DK didn't feel any different to me, other than the fact that Slappy Hands doesn't do damage now, but it's back. Slappy Hands is back.
It's back, baby.
It is back. I probably should have started with that. Slappy Hands was on my bar. Now, how Slappy Hands works now, though, is it doesn't do damage. It only does the gripping part of it, which is fine. It's just fine. The damage was a bonus, but it wasn't the real reason why I was using Slappy Hands, right? I was using Slappy Hands to try and group everything together. However, you can either get Slappy Hands or Gorfiend's Grasp. You cannot get both. I also noticed with Gorfiend's Grasp that they added a stun to it. So when you grip everything in, it stuns. Not stuns, it silences. Sorry, not stun. It's a silence. So it silences for 3 seconds. So I don't know actually anymore which one would be better, because that silence is kind of goated, right? So we'll see.
That is pretty good.
We'll see what people end up going with, but I like that they're giving you two pretty solid choices now. And I also get that they're trying to cut down on button bloat, so it makes sense that it's hey, you get one or the other. You're not getting both.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand that. That makes me a little bit happy. And overall, they're cutting a lot of it down. But Blood DK was, I think, generally fairly simple to begin with, so it makes sense that they're not crazy stripping it of stuff. Not like a DPS or something, or even a lot of healers. But I had fun playing through the intro story, right? So you play through the intro story, and you fight off the void alongside what's his name, Eredor, I think, the son of not Lorthamar, the son of dude, I'm blanking, bro. I'm Illyria. It's Illyria and what's Illyria's husband's name? Why can't I remember his name right now? Turalyon. Illyria and Turalyon, their son, he's half elf, half human.
I'm definitely not the right person.
Yeah, Eredor's running around. That was pretty cool, doing the quest line, fighting off the void. There's definitely a lot of cutscenes that aren't in there yet that I think will give more context to things. Eredor mentions stuff and sorry for the spoilers. I should probably let people know spoilers.
Spoilers.
You're also listening to a World of Warcraft podcast, so you're probably hungry for any WoW news that you can get. So I'm sure.
True.
I'm sure most people aren't bothered by we'll spoil here.
Hopefully.
But that was cool. Kind of doing that opening quest. You're kind of defending the Sunwell basically. When that's over, you go to Silvermoon City, And dude, Silvermoon is beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous city. I think what got me though the most, and this is what I really encourage everybody to do, when you get to Silvermoon, whenever Midnight comes out, or if you go into the beta, run to, like, don't walk, run to the, it's kind of like almost like the central hub of the city right now. But it's this like light infused building that I guess is like going to be where like quests and things are at for you and stuff. But it's like this light infused building. And when you walk in there, I don't know if I've ever seen anything more beautiful in World of Warcraft than this building. Like, I mean that, dude. I mean that completely. However, whatever artists at Blizzard worked on that, great job. It's freaking gorgeous. Freaking gorgeous. And this is, again, I haven't seen anywhere else in the game. This is literally just the hub city. You walk in there, absolutely beautiful. I tried to go to Zul'Aman, the like troll area. I flew into it for a little bit, and then it kicked me out because it was like an off-limits area. You're not supposed to be there, I guess. It looked cool. One thing I really liked for anybody who's curious, it does connect. It actually is fully connected to the actual Eastern Kingdoms. So if you're like dragon riding, you can just fly. Like you can just fly right through. It's not a loading screen. It's nothing. It's physically a part of the Eastern Kingdoms, and that's a big deal because, and I don't know if you knew this, Chicken, because it's kind of before your time. When Burning Crusade came out and they added that whole area up there, right? It was a whole separate instanced area. So you actually had to like, kind of sus. Yeah, you actually had to like go into a whole different zone, like physically, like it would teleport you into a different zone. It's just weird. I guess it was the tech they had at the time, limitations they had at the time. I don't know, but that was the case. Now it's not the case anymore. It is literally a part of the Eastern Kingdoms, which is fantastic. Fantastic.
Yeah, it is nice.
I did try out the new Demon Hunter spec for a little bit.
Really?
Yep. It was cool making a Void Elf Demon Hunter. That was kind of fun. I took a screenshot of it and sent it to a bunch of my friends because I was like, look, I made a Demon Hunter. Seeing if any of them would notice that the skin was blue.
Yeah.
Right? They're like, hey, look, I'm trying out Demon Hunter today. And a couple of them were like, wait, is that beta? Also, I happened to take the picture in player housing, but most people didn't figure out that it was alpha. I mean, so I don't know.
Oh.
Well, you know, but the Void Elf Demon Hunter was cool. When creating it, the one weird thing I noticed, and I think I reported it because I don't think it's intentional, but you can't seem to have horns and tendrils at the same time. So Void Elves have that like tendril option for certain hairstyles, where they can have like tentacles and stuff, like void tentacles. But you can't see if the horns are turned on for the Demon Hunters, you don't have the tentacles. So, just a thing. It's just a thing I noticed that was interesting. I don't really know too much about actually how to play the spec, but I was goofing out with the spells. The art of it looked really beautiful. The movement felt really cool. I liked the different forms. I liked having the void wings instead of like the normal wings. The void form was cool for metamorphosis. The void attacks are cool. Only thing I will say though is the creation process still forces you to have fell eyes, right? And that's kind of weird. I'll just say that, Blizzard. I will say that you should come up with like a void eyes option if you're gonna commit to it. I think it's weird to have fell eyes as like the only eye option. The only way you can get away from having fell eyes is if you do the full, like, I think it's like the linen option, which is just like basically just full bandages over your eyes.
I was gonna say where, it just covers your eyes at that point.
Yeah, but most of the eye covers still have the green glow coming through. That's the one option that doesn't. So I did that. That was really fun. Played through that a bit. And then the big thing that I spent a lot of time doing was player housing. I didn't even think that like honestly that didn't even occur to me that you would do that at all. Like 100%. Yeah. I was not thinking, Swag's gonna do player housing. No, yeah.
I was like, Swag's gonna maybe do a little bit of the storyline, maybe play some dungeons, maybe some delves. Doubtful, but I don't think they have any dungeons. I don't think any dungeons are available for testing. Oh, really?
No, there is one raid boss.
Oh, it's alpha, right?
Yeah.
Duh.
There's one raid boss, which is weird. That's never happened before, but one raid boss available for testing. I think the one boss raid is available, so I suspect, my suspicion is that's probably going to be the first raid you do before you go to the other ones, I suspect.
Yeah.
Right? Because I know there's talk at one point of like, oh, maybe that one's really the end boss, right? Probably definitely not. It doesn't
definitely not.
It doesn't feel that way. It's just like a bird. It's just it's like a phoenix, like a light phoenix thing that's like covered in void energy. So it's, I don't know, it's a weird amalgamation of void and light. It just doesn't come across to me as like end boss type design.
End boss type, yeah. Doesn't give you end boss energy.
No, not at all. I'm trying to think anything else. Player housing though, did a lot of player housing. It was wonderful. So a couple takes from player housing. I couldn't do anything that affected the outside of the house. I don't think those options are available as of alpha, right? So I know Blizzard has plans for them. I know they're working on them. I just don't think it was turned on for alpha. Internally, I had a blast going through all the settings, trying everything out, placing things. Only thing that's a bummer, I think, for the alpha is like you're really limited on like what items you start with.
Yeah.
So I started with a pretty limited supply of stuff. So I couldn't go too crazy with the design. I think there's things I still couldn't quite figure out how to do well. I'm hoping that they make it more clear when it comes out.
I mean, that definitely gets fixed, right?
Yeah, there's things that get fixed. Like I couldn't quite figure out how to do a second level in the house. I know it sounds stupid because I built staircases, but I didn't know how to build rooms at the top of the staircases. So it might just be something I have to spend more time doing and playing around with, but it wasn't intuitive, if that makes sense. It definitely wasn't like, oh, it's right here, the button for doing that. And I know it's possible because I've seen other people do it. So like, I'm pretty sure it's doable. I just couldn't figure it out.
You just couldn't.
Yeah. But it was cool being able to skin the different rooms. You have control over how every wall looks, right? So it's not just like, oh, hey, the inside of my house uses this style of wall. It's like, no, this wall is themed this way, and this wall is themed this way, and this wall over here. So you had a lot of control in that regard. So you can have a room that's very like Silver Moon-esque, Blood Elf style, right? And then another room that's like just a normal human house, right? So like it's totally up to you how you do that. Internally, you can make your house look like whatever you want, regardless of faction. Externally, though, you are limited to the faction style home. So like the Orc or the Alliance out external, at least for right now, in the zone they're in. But that makes sense to me because you're in that zone. Like it feels right? Yeah. And hot take. If you're playing a Blood Elf on the Horde, and you're like, but I don't want to live in a mud hut. I don't want the Horde aesthetic. Then don't play Horde. Okay. Go race swap to a Void Elf. Play Alliance. I hate saying it that way, but I don't know. I feel like sometimes because I think what's hard is, and I'm going off on a side tangent real quick. I'm seeing it all over X of people just being like, I don't want ugly home. I play a beautiful elf. And it's like, look, you're playing on the Horde, man. You're playing on the Horde. You live in the Horde aesthetic. It's funny though because, and I guess it's like 18 years ago now, 19 years ago at this point. So maybe this point doesn't hold ground anymore. But like, I think the Blood Elves are the most played Horde race, but they're also like the least Horde of all the races, besides maybe the Highborn, right? Like besides maybe the Highborn, like they're the least Horde, right? But they're the most played one. And I mean, it's intentional, right? Alliance was much more played than Horde back in Vanilla WoW, and they wanted to try and balance that out. So that's why the Blood Elves ended up on the Horde side for the Burning Crusade, because they wanted to try and put a prettier race on the Horde, so that would hopefully balance it. Except it went too far, and now the Horde became the more popular race, literally just because they had Blood Elves, which is why eventually they had to give like Void Elves to the Alliance to try and return some balance to the game. But yeah, so a little side tangent there. Deal with your mud hut. Enjoy it. I will say, though, also, you kind of get either or. So I made an Alliance house and I made a Horde house. Both exist at the same time. I don't know if my other characters could also make them. All I know is I only tried to make one Alliance and one Horde. I didn't try to make more than that, right? I should try it. And report back. But I only tried to make one of each, and I was able to make one of each and have them both exist simultaneously. And I could visit both of them with either character, and I don't know if that was by design or by accident. I don't actually know how I would get to the Horde area if I was on an Alliance character, but I do know whenever I used the teleport to plot button that exists, there's like a button where you can just hearth basically to your player housing, that whatever player house I had gone into last was the one that it would take me to.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that was fascinating. I don't know what that means, but it's information. It could mean that you have flexibility. It could also mean that right now in alpha, it just doesn't limit me. I don't know what that means. I could be messing up the system. The other thing I'll say too, both of the zones are huge. Like, both of the zones are absolutely massive for player housing. Like, bigger than you would think.
Oh, that's good.
Bigger than you would think. They're not like crazy insane big, but when you're flying through them, you're like, oh wow, that's actually a decent size. Like, there's literal flight paths inside the player housing zone.
Oh dang.
I will also say,
Kind of crazy.
The orcs definitely have the Horde definitely has that orc house aesthetic, and I think it's cool. I actually think that's a cool aesthetic, for sure. So I have no problem with it. I think it's cool. On the outside, once you're inside, it doesn't matter. What I will also say though is the Horde zone, I actually think is a more beautiful zone than the Alliance zone. The Alliance zone is like what you expect, right? Like exactly what you expect, and it looks great. Like there's nothing wrong with it. It looks great, but it is like standard. It's like, yep, that's exactly what I thought it was. The Horde zone though, gorgeous. Like they have the like Duratar section, right? That like dirt, like kind of rocky section. But they also kind of have these like more almost jungly sections. They also have like a beautiful beachy section, right? Both of them have like shorelines, but the Horde one is like beach, like nice. Like I could go, like I would go on a tropical vacation there type beach, right? So I would say the Horde one I think is much more visually beautiful than the Alliance one when flying around, right? So that's worth I think keeping in mind as well. But player housing was a blast. I loved it. And I will 100% be spending a lot of time collecting stuff from my player housing.
Yeah, see, that's gonna be what a lot of people do, would be my guess.
Yeah.
And speaking of player housing, I mean, it's kind of crazy. I think we discussed that people were like, and not necessarily anticipating, but we did get a final release date for player housing, and that is December 2nd.
December 2nd.
That's really not that far away.
No. I'll have to tell my wife because she was supposed to level up to 80 so she can do
you gotta tell. Does your wife have a gamer tag?
It's actually just her name.
Oh.
Yeah. But I'll tell Shay. I'll let her know.
I was like, does your wife have a gamer tag? Should I dox her?
Dox?
Anyway.
Get doxed.
But yeah, I think that was the anticipation that it was going to come out sometime around end of the year, and it is. So I think it's safe to say at this point that I'm going to make a bold assumption that Midnight is definitely going to come out sometime early next year. I don't even think that's as bold of an assumption as I could make at this point.
Yeah, right, because player housing, my gut tells me, because here's the problem. I know people are so hyped for player housing, and player housing exists separate from all the other stuff, so it's able to come out earlier. But it's hard because I'm trying to find, you don't want too much time for player housing before the expansion because you want people to associate player housing with Midnight, right? Because player housing 100%. Is such a huge and massive deal that if you take player housing away from Midnight, it looks lackluster. Like Midnight's like, oh, okay, whatever, it's cool, I'm fine. Blah. But then you add player housing to it, and you're like, whoa, this is one of the best expansions Blizzard's ever come out with. And I think when people mentally separate them, they don't realize how good. Like, I'm hearing a bunch of people talking right now about how Midnight's going to be, right? They're like, oh, it's
like
supposed to be,
storyline,
it was originally supposed to be called Good Night before it became Midnight, right? And stuff like that. Not even like the storyline as much as it is just like people always dooming about, add-ons and rotations and stuff like that. But the truth, though, is that, like, dude, in terms of content, player housing is massive. Like, it is one of the coolest things Blizzard's added to the game, possibly ever. It's incredible. It is absolutely incredible. It's going to be a huge time sink for people. It's going to be an entirely another way for people to play the game who just want to collect things and role play and enjoy like the experience of the game. It's
it's
having
crazy.
played it, I can't express how big this is. So here's the dilemma that Blizzard has. If they put the early access to player housing too early, right? Now you're associating player housing with an end of the War Within element and not a midnight element, and midnight now feels lackluster. However, if you put player housing too close to midnight, if you're like, hey, yeah, you have 2 weeks, and then midnight launches, there's a lot of legacy achievements and things that offer rewards for player housing. And I think Blizzard knows
people are going to want to do those.
That people are going to want to do those. They're going to want to collect. They're going to want to build their house out, and they're not going to want to have to do that and also like start grinding content right away, right? So you need a balance of like, no, people have time. Like they know this is a midnight early access thing. Like you have to even have midnight pre-ordered. Like it's a whole thing, but also it's not so far away that it actually doesn't feel like a part of midnight, right? And so a month. Oh yeah, 100%. A month to me feels like the right time. If they go 2 months,
it does.
I know people are saying, "Oh, February, maybe February, March, like right is when midnight comes out." But dude, 2-3 months, all of a sudden, player housing now feels like a season 4 element for the War Within, and not a major cornerstone element of.
Yeah, it midnight. Does. I agree, 100%. I 100% agree.
Speculation. My speculation. 1 month after player housing, so in early January, beginning of January, we're going to see midnight come out.
I think I can agree with that 100%. I think it gives people a lot of time to play player housing, especially during the holiday time. I know a lot of people take time off just in general to spend with their family, do that kind of stuff.
And now you can spend it with your family in World of Warcraft.
In World of Warcraft. Oh my gosh. Here he goes again. No, I agree. I don't think they want to make too much time, but then at the same time, you're right. I think this would feel too copy, like almost like a season 4 if they let it go too long. And we've talked about this many times in the past, so I don't want to talk about it too much, but they definitely seem like they are done with the season 4 aspect of the game, at least for now. And I think this is a clear kind of sign saying, hey, this is, we're kind of done with that season 4.
Yep, absolutely. Especially seeing Remix happening now, all these other things.
Oh, yeah. Remix would 100% be happening closer to a season 4 if we were having a season 4. That's a good pull. Mm-hmm. Yeah, if we were having season 4, Remix would not be coming out right now. It would be coming out closer to that time. I didn't really think about that too much.
Okay, I have a question. I have a question for you. I'm working on that. I just wrapped up that graphic I make for teams for Sunday Keys. And in the background of the graphic is Koresh, right? The new zone that we've been questing in for this patch. Yo, what if they turned that zone into a Plunderstorm arena?
Oh, that'd be kind of cool.
Wouldn't that be sick?
Plunderstorm. Oh, rip Plunderstorm, dude.
There's
no Plunderstorm 3.
What was that? Remember they talked about for a little bit another game mode, right? That was supposed to be like competitive, player versus player, ish in a sense. Maybe spookier. When did they talk about that for a bit? We were all kind of thinking it would be a Dead by Daylight type thing. Whatever happened to that?
It was supposed to be like, oh my goodness, I'm not thinking not Five Nights at Freddy. Oh my goodness, the other one,
Left 4 Dead.
Yeah,
I think it was supposed to be like Dead by Daylight.
Yeah, Dead by Daylight. Yeah. That's what I was thinking of. But yeah, I mean, what did ever happen to that? I kind of forgot about that one. It kind of fell off the radar.
Maybe we'll find out.
Yeah, maybe that was a real like precursor thing. Maybe we're too far out to know what it actually is.
Yeah. What? Yeah. So if that makes any sense.
Dude, Plunderstorm 3 would be lit though. I 100% still think it'll happen.
All right.
If it doesn't, I'm boycotting Blizzard.
Yeah. So obviously, I was playing on the alpha, tried a lot of stuff. One thing I didn't really think about. I'm gonna be honest. There's so many things to think about and do. One thing I didn't really think about was UI or add-ons. Didn't really test them.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, it's kind of interesting to think that, it was also announced that week wars were not making their way to midnight, which we kind of assumed. Well, I don't know if we assumed that. Did we assume that?
Dude, I kind of thought that might be the case. I was reading the Everything app this week, and there's a lot of drama, dude. There's a lot of drama about
Are you
add-ons.
surprised?
No, about add-ons in World of Warcraft right now, and people are hard taking sides. Like people are hard taking sides, and they're like, they're fighting to the death over it. Like they're willing to go down dying on either side, and it's like actually kind of crazy to me. Here's my take. My take is the first season, maybe the first 2 seasons are going to be like a little weird and a little rough, especially season 1. Blizzard's been designing encounters and experiences in dungeons for add-ons in mind. That is going to be weird the first season we don't have them. And it's going to be weird either because mechanics are still going to be too complex, and without add-ons, like you're just not going to be able to track 37 kicks on a 2-mob pool, right? Or it's going to go the other way, and they're going to oversimplify, thinking that it was too much, and so they're going to oversimplify,
Or like trash
and
players.
it's going to be like it's going to be too easy. We're probably going to have a season of that. We're going to see a lot of tweaking, but here's the thing: we have watched Blizzard, like recent Blizzard has been constantly tweaking things throughout seasons, constantly tweaking things. So I have no doubt that they'll get it in place, they'll get it figured out. My take though on add-ons is this. This is my ultimate take on add-ons. The Band-Aid had to be ripped off. I know people are like, oh, we have to like slowly remove the Band-Aid. No, Band-Aid has to be ripped off, and here's why. World of Warcraft is an amazing game. It's an amazing game. It is a wonderful, wonderful game. But it just struggles to attract new players, I think, because it just seems overwhelming, right? As a new player, you look at World of Warcraft, or a potential player, you look at World of Warcraft, and you're like, okay, well, I'm like 28 seasons or expansions too late, right? They've already gone to space and back, and then time traveled and then came back. Like, how am I going to keep up with what's going on, right? So it's going to take me they think it's going to take too long to catch up, which we know it doesn't. We know it's super easy to get into, but they see that. They see people talking about add-ons all the time, like, oh, you want to play WoW? Make sure you get these 7 add-ons. These are the 17 add-ons that I suggest. Everybody should have these 27 add-ons, right? And it starts to feel overwhelming. It starts to feel like you can't do it.
It does.
And Blizzard needed to make this decision because it brings players in. This is a decision that will bring players into World of Warcraft. I promise. I know people aren't going to like that answer. It's going to bring people into World of Warcraft. Does that mean that your push keys now are going to feel a little different? Yes, completely. But I'm personally, me Swag, is willing to make that sacrifice if it means more people get to play the game that I love. That's just an important deal to me. They're trying to do everything they can to make this work. That's why they're simplifying class play right now. Because, by the way, classes, I think, were too complicated, and they were so complicated because of add-ons, right? Because add-ons allowed Blizzard to keep making things more and more complicated to try and add complexity for the players to enjoy, but the more complexity they added, the more add-ons would cover that complexity, so they'd have to make new complexity. And finally, it's like, no, we got to strip all that back. We got to strip all that back because this is not new player friendly. This is not encouraging new players. This is not a place people feel safe learning the game in, right? And the game still needs challenge. It still needs the opportunity to grow, right? Part of what makes WoW so fun is you spend so much time just learning how to play your thing. But you should also still be able to walk in and feel like you can learn it, right? How do you feel like you can learn something and still have long-term like learning potential? Those are 2 elements, and that's where Blizzard's trying to strike that balance. And so the Band-Aid had to be ripped off, and because people are like, well, I thought it would take another year, another 2 years, another whatever. Dude, that's a long time to wait for a company to attract more players, right? Like, we're acting like we're surprised, but this was like announced, like, I'm pretty sure before the War Within came out, this was starting to be talked about.
Well, yeah, it was part of like the big push to have like, well, not necessarily one button rotation was announced with this, but that kind of like accessibility and easeability to pull everything in game and just kind of avoid a lot of that stuff.
There was never
like,
a moment.
My big thing, I was just thinking about this, like, yeah, it's a big deal now, but like also think about how big of a controversy one butt rotation was, and we literally have not talked about it in like a long time.
Actually, I could talk about it. I'm refraining from it. I think one button rotation actually needs some hard tweaks.
No, stop.
Yeah.
You could talk about it every podcast.
Well, actually, I have a couple. I have a few thoughts on one button rotation, but I still think yeah, not for every spec, but there are a couple specs where one button rotation is doing more damage than 75% of players.
Really?
Yeah.
And
people, and the problem is people
to talk about.
Like I just got a message this week from a friend of mine who said, you know, they've been using a build for Hunter that allows them to do 75%, or do more damage than 75% of players. And they're basically like building their stats a specific way to like maximize one button. So like just like tons of haste and verse basically, right? To like maximize cooldown speed and stuff like that. And they're high parsing just because of one button, right? So there are elements where I'm like, okay, you probably shouldn't be high parsing on one button rotation, right? You should be good enough for the content you're doing. But again, I imagine Blizzard's going to keep tweaking that, going to keep working on that. Yeah, they will. They're going to figure out an answer to it. I'm not particularly worried. It really doesn't hurt me that much, but I don't think it's healthy. No. I don't think it's healthy, right? I'll live, but like it kind of adds a yuckiness to the game, right? So it's kind of like,
yeah, it does.
Let's figure that. Let's find a way to make one button rotation beneficial for those who need it, but not this like overwhelming cheat button. And I don't mean like cheat button like, well, because I'm trying to be careful because I know that it's a sensitive topic and people are listening who are like, but I need it, I love it. Don't talk bad about it, right? All I'm saying is like, there's still some builds with one button rotation that just do giga damage. I also know people who use add-ons to basically do the same thing as one button rotation, and they're giga pumping because they're not being punished without by not having the cooldown punishment, right? So that's an even bigger problem, and I wonder if Blizzard will put an end to those because technically they're add-ons you use during combat, but it doesn't work like a normal. It's not reading combat data; it's like doing its own thing. So I'm curious to see how those change over time, right? So that'll be interesting. Where was I going with this conversation? What were we talking about originally?
I off-roaded you by saying people aren't upset about one-button rotation. So and you're like, yes, they are.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
No,
back to add-ons.
You didn't sound like that.
There's never a moment where I questioned when add-ons would be removed. I knew from the start, dude. It was going to be Midnight. Like, the launch of Midnight was the removal of combat add-ons.
Oh, okay.
Like, it just made the most sense. It logically made the most sense that by the next expansion, they would want to have that in action. They're not going to say it and then wait 2 expansions. That's just weird. That would be weird. No, that's just weird. No, dude, they're doing it in the following expansion. The Warband comes out. By midnight, we're going to have combat add-ons removed from the game. Dude, I think it's going to be good. It's going to take a second. There's also a lot of controversy around rotations. Right, rotations are being simplified a whole ton, which I think will be good. I'll be good. Clean up those action bars a little bit. I truly think it'll be good. It might take a second for Blizzard to find the right balance, but give them a season or two.
They always do.
Yep. I will say this though. I saw this commented the other day on X, the Everything app, and I thought it was brilliant. So I'll say it here on the podcast. Blizzard hit record numbers in World of Warcraft subs when rotations were way simpler than they are now.
Yeah.
So your complex rotations are not what's keeping the game afloat. It's just not.
Not even a little bit.
It's not, right?
You're right.
Yeah, and we're not going back to like classic era rotations, right? That's not what we're doing. Like it's still gonna feel very modern and very relevant. It's just not gonna it's not gonna be all the defensive bloat, right? Like even like looking at mages and like, oh no, alter image isn't also adding a defense, and like Invis isn't adding a defense, and like all these things are like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Of course these aren't adding extra defenses to my character, right? And healing's being changed so that it's like not quite as spammy, I think, anymore. Just things like that. I think will be ultimately good changes to the game. It is going to be major combat changes. I'm just excited to see how they feel.
Yeah, no, I think it'll be.
Yeah,
I think it'll be good. I'm excited to kind of dump into Midnight and see what's going on.
I didn't really look at much of the Apex talents, by the way. Sorry, last combat thing. I didn't really look at Apex talents too much. I glanced at them on my Blood Decay. And it just kind of seemed to me they seemed very straightforward. At least on Blood DK, it was just more. It was straightforward. It felt more like a tier set bonus.
No, they did. Yeah. It kind of seemed, and maybe that's what they are. Maybe they're trying to get rid of tier set bonuses.
Maybe, right? Think about how many players hate like new tier set comes out and all of a sudden it's like, oh no, I gotta grind the tier set,
change. Right? Yeah, it's like, oh my goodness, my rotations change so much.
Well, that's tough because I think people do. Like, I think a lot of people like having the rotations change season to season because it adds variety. But I do think there's that question of like, oh, new season came out, now I got to grind out this gear. It also means that you have 4 gear slots that are always going to be guaranteed to like specific loot.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right. So who knows? I think we're keeping tier though because I do think tier is fun, but all I'm saying is Apex abilities kind of just felt like tier set. I think it had something to do with my dancing rune weapon. I can get more of them by doing something.
Yeah, you can get Yeah,
it read like a tier set would read.
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting. Yeah, most of them have to do with like I'm looking at the DK ones. Most of them have to do with like your main cooldown, like Unholy's Army of the Dead, Frost is Frostworm's Fury, Blood's Dancing Rune Weapon, blah blah blah. So yeah, I mean they're kind of cool. I guess we'll find out more of them. There's only 2 more things I wanted to touch really.
Yeah.
3 technically on Midnight and kind of all the updates that we got from the alpha. Valor Stones being removed. We kind of knew that.
Yep.
And I think it's a good thing for the game, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't see the point of Valor Stones. We've talked about it many times.
Dude, I don't get them. I never have enough of them. So it's funny. There's 2 types of players you talk to, right? So you talk to players like us who are like, dude, I never have enough Valor Stones. Like bro, right now in my bag, I think I have like 100 Valor Stones, and I probably have 95 Gilded Crests in my bag, right? I'm like, oh man, I'd love to upgrade my gear if I had some Valor Stones, and I don't want to go do World Quests. I'm not doing freaking World Quests for Valor Stones. And then you have the other type of player who is like, and I think this is where maybe they were trying to make Valor Stones meaningful, but it failed because the people who benefit from it didn't care for it, right? But the idea that like if you're constantly getting like crest cap, right? If you're like, dude, I'm just slamming keys all day long. And I'm hitting crest cap and I'm just still slamming keys because I want the rating or whatever. Then you're getting like Giga Valor Stones, right?
Yeah.
Because you're crest cap, but you're still getting more Valor Stones, even though you're not getting more crests. But for people like me who like were doing both at the same time, I'm never getting enough Valor Stones to keep up with the amount of crests I'm doing. Valor Stones are kind of banking on the fact that you're going over crest cap, and I don't.
Yeah.
So I'm glad to see him gone.
No, it just doesn't make sense. Like honestly, it feels like they just wanted a second currency and they didn't want to use gold, so they're like, we'll just create this thing called Valor Stones and we'll do those.
Yeah, that's fair too.
So
that's fair too.
It's kind of weird, but one thing that I saw, which is kind of sweet, and I wish this would have been done sooner, was the set bonus, not set bonus. The basically when you get like a transmog set,
yeah,
you can get everything below that basically. So like if you get the tier set, the mythic tier set for whatever Maniforge Omega, right? It gives you the set for everything below it, which is super clutch. Like that's like, come on, Blizzard.
I think that was a brilliant
years
move.
ago.
That was a brilliant move because it's tough. Because on one hand, it's like, but you're appearance farming. Yeah. But I'm sorry, because it's tough. Because some people like literally go to old content, right? And they just storm through old content. But dude, I don't want to be finding like a normal raid team that I have to run every single week just so I can get the transmog appearance of something that I've already done that freaking fight, dude. I've already done that freaking fight on a difficulty 2 levels higher, right? Why are you now making me go do this fight on LFR when I've already cleared it on heroic or on normal when I've done it on mythic, right? That to me was just kind of weird. So I like that they're saying. So basically, let's say you had your full tier set on myth. Then you would have every appearance for all levels.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Which I think is a good move.
It's clutch. It's goated. Best thing ever.
Yep.
So that's pretty neat. I'm glad that they're doing that. But one last thing. The dungeon pool.
Yeah.
What do you think of the returning dungeons for Season 1 of Midnight? You want me to read them off to you? Do you know them?
I remember some of them. Like, I remember that your favorite dungeon is coming back.
Yeah, my favorite dungeon from Dragonflight, yeah.
Yeah, dude, you love that one, bro.
Yeah, I love the
Algathar Academy is coming back.
Yeah.
I do remember that one's back.
Yes.
Skyreach, I thought I saw in there, right? That's the old old
Skyreach
dungeon.
from Draenor.
Seed of Triumvirate is there. I never actually really truly did that dungeon, so that would be an interesting one. That's one I have to actually learn.
Okay.
And then the one that caught me the most, actually off guard in terms of returning dungeons, that I'm kind of hype about because this is a dungeon I love. Like, I actually love this dungeon. I'm just surprised to see it as an M+, and I think I'm gonna be really shocked to see what kind of routes end up coming from. It could be straightforward, but this dungeon also has room to like not be very straightforward, so we'll see. But Pit of Saren. Pit of Saren is coming back. And if you're like, huh, I feel like we remember talk about this dungeon at one point. That's right. Way back when on this podcast, you might recall a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. I'm actually scrolling back through our list so I can have the right
Are you actually?
Yeah, the right episode.
Oh man.
Because it was our first episode with Oreo, right? With Mothra Vita.
Okay.
Right, episode 30. Yeah, I believe it was episode 30 we talked about Pit of Saren. Unless it wasn't episode 30, it was episode 42.
Huh. Interesting. And what did we talk about?
Why did we have a guest episode on episode 42?
Oh, because that was your wedding, and that was the...
Oh, yeah. That's right. That we pre-recorded that one. Well, one of those episodes we had talked about that dungeon alongside another one, and so it was funny to me to see that one come back up. But Pit of Saren, right, dude, coming back. Yeah. That's a Wrath of the Lich King dungeon. That will be
that feels weird
because we once had a Cataclysm dungeon come out, right? So this will be the oldest dungeon we've had enter into the Mythic dungeon pool.
Really?
Yes.
It's kind of crazy.
Yes. Which is wow. Which means maybe potentially one day, I could see. I'm just saying. Ian, I know you listen to this podcast. All right.
Oh my God.
I know he listens. I could see, Shadowfang Keep. I could see Shadowfang Keep come back as an M+. But no, I'm pretty hyped actually. It looks good. Skyreach isn't always my favorite, but whatever. Algathar's a fun one. I like Algathar. They'll find some way to make me hate Algathar. I just know it. I know it. It's okay. I understand.
Wait, say it again.
They'll find some way to make me hate Algathar Academy.
Oh, probably, yeah.
But it's a fun dungeon. At least it was the fun dungeon the last time I did it. Pit of Saren, though, I think it's going to be really cool. And I think that has me excited to see. I'm just very excited. And I think they're probably trying to put some Northrend stuff in there because we're going to Northrend in the following expansion, I believe, in the war.
Okay.
In the Last Titan. I think we're going into there. Also, we have Windrunner Spire is one of the new dungeons that will be in the pool next season. And I wanted to mention that one. Actually, you know what? Chicken, let's do a little lore quiz. A little podcast lore quiz. You ready?
Oh no.
All right. Who is Windrunner Spire named after?
Oh no.
You can do it.
No, I have no idea.
We've talked.
Literally, I have no idea.
Really?
Windrunner Spiral?
Spire.
Oh, Windrunner Spire. Is it someone from a raid in this expansion?
They were in a raid.
Not in this expansion.
No, they were in this expansion. Maybe in 2 raids this expansion, if I remember correctly.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, I have no idea who it is.
Really? All right. Anyways.
Are you surprised that I don't know who it is?
Yeah, actually,
honestly.
a little bit. Yeah, actually a little bit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm sorry I let you down.
The Windrunner Spire, right, is, I believe it was the old home. I believe it was the home. It might have been something else, but of the Windrunner family. So right now, I believe that the lore of the dungeon is that the brother, Lirith Windrunner, is like his ghost is inhabiting it, and there's like other spirits there or something. It's like a ghosty kind of dungeon, right? And so we're helping him kind of clear out the spirits or something. I don't totally understand, but it's gonna be fascinating. I'm excited to see what's happening.
Yeah, that seems kind of neat, actually.
Yeah, he is the youngest brother of the Windrunner sisters.
Okay.
So like Varisa, you know Varisa, right?
Sure.
No, you don't, because we've never talked about her. We maybe did briefly, but you know Varisa's two other sisters.
Yes.
Illyria.
Yes.
We've been following her around the whole expansion, and you know Sylvanas, right? Because you fought her back in Shadowlands. So that's the home of the Windrunner sisters and their brother and their parents. Yep. And there's some data mining right now. There's some information coming out right now that we're probably going to see Sylvanas return in patch 11.2.7. So the sisters are probably coming back together to do something. Coming up, maybe they'll be involved with the Spire. Maybe it'll be more than that. I don't know. At this point, I don't know.
Yeah.
What I do know, though, is that they're coming back. It's going to be interesting. We'll see what happens. There's also some data mining of Sylvanas holding like a harp of some kind. It's like a Maw-themed like hand harp. Not like a full harp, but like one of the ones you hold in your hand. And people are like, oh, is this maybe potential bard class? I don't think so, because it doesn't really match her style. It's like a Maw-themed harp, which kind of feels weird. Like, what? I don't know. But also, more importantly, two things. One, Sylvanas historically was such a good representation of the Ranger and the Dark Ranger, right? That I think it'd be weird to have her represent a new class coming in, especially one as whimsical as like a bard is. And two, to that point, if we're gonna get bards one day, and I hope we do, I hope we eventually get bards in WoW, they better be like actually like led by a character that's like funny and goofy and kind of storytelling or musical, right? Like charismatic, right? Like don't give me Sylvanas Windrunner, right? The Banshee Queen, as like all of a sudden she shows back up after spending like 5 years in the Maw, and she's like, hey guys, I'm a bard now, right? Like no shot that happens. So I don't know why. I get it. I get that there's a harp attached to her for some reason. It might have something to do with her going back to her home. Who knows what the story is. It could literally just be a simple like one-off little animation for something. So I figured I'd put that out there. I don't think she's going to herald in the bards. In fact, not only do I think she won't, I actually hope she does not. All right? I hope she does not.
Yeah.
Okay, so
why is that?
I think she's the wrong person. It would
just be like poor, like
it would just be
poorly written storyline.
Yeah, it would just be weird.
Fair
All
enough.
right, you guys ready for some listener questions?
It's only me here, so yes.
Perfect. Well, before we get into the listener questions, we got a couple things to say. First, if you want to have your question read on the podcast, you can join our Discord. Link down in the description. Go to the Pod Questions channel. You can post your questions there. Of course, Patreon supporters get priority. They can post theirs in the Patreon Questions channel. With that said, though, it is a good reminder that we do have a Patreon. It's a great way to help support the content that we're creating. Right now, we don't really take on too many ads at the moment, and so Patreon is a great way to help us kind of keep creating content. We also create exclusive content for the Patreon, a weekly video for the Patreon listeners, or weekly bonus, just like listening episode, whatever that might be. And occasionally, we will also live stream the podcast live in the Patreon exclusive voice chat. So you can check all that out with the Patreon link down in the description. This episode is supported by Zygor. Zygor is an add-on for World of Warcraft. And you're probably thinking, well, why would I want an add-on right now when they're getting rid of add-ons? Because Zygor isn't a combat add-on. All right, let me clarify. Zygor is an add-on that helps you with quests. It helps you with gold making. It helps you with all sorts of things. Power leveling, whatever you're looking to do. Even in classic editions of the game, Zygor is extremely powerful and awesome for being as efficient as you can be, especially if time is important to you. As my goblin friends always like to say, time is money, friend. And that's why you should, yeah, that's pretty good, right? And that's why you should get Zygor. And if you do, make sure to use our link because that helps us out. And you can use code SWAGLOCK for an extra 20% off. Lastly, I love talking about our guild. Our guild is the best guild on the planet. It's an amazing guild, especially if you're looking for a non-toxic environment to learn World of Warcraft, to experience different elements of the game that maybe you would normally be too nervous to try out. Mythic Plus dungeons, raiding, whatever it might be, is a great place to kind of form some friendships, build community. If you're looking for that, we would love to invite you to our guild. Now, I do not post our guild's Discord link in the show notes because I just, I want to give them a little bit of privacy. Although it is a guild both Chick and I are part of, it is not necessarily a guild that belongs to the podcast. And so if you're interested in joining, you can join our Discord, not the guild's Discord, our Discord. And you'll see a channel towards the top of the channel list called Join Astra. Go in there, create a ticket, and one of the Astra reps will reach out to you to get you into the guild or answer any questions that you might have. With that said, let's get to the questions.
Let's do it.
All right, Chicken. We got our first question coming in from Raging Ridge, one of our Patreon supporters. And so if questions are asked about the alpha that have already been answered, we'll kind of just, speed through them. So no offense if we've already talked about it on the podcast. Raging Ridge says, what classes have you tried in the alpha? What did you like so far, and what do you not like? So the classes I tried in the alpha, and I didn't really spend too much time class testing, if I'm honest. I like the art things more than the playstyle things, because I'll have to do all the playstyle things eventually, so I just want to go look at the cool stuff like player housing, zones, etc. What I will say, though, is I tried Blood DK. That was enjoyable, felt smooth, felt clean, no complaints, felt very familiar, especially since I haven't played it for, this whole season so far. I played a little bit of Paladin, but not really. It was can't really speak to it. And then I played a good bit of the Void Demon Hunter, and that was actually really fun. I was genuinely enjoying it. I don't know if I was totally understanding the medium range thing super well, so I gotta practice the range stuff because I just kept finding myself running right at the target. But I think that's a me issue. I think that's more of a me issue. I just kept forgetting. I could play range on that, and I kept wanting to go into melee. Yeah, I just kept forgetting.
Gosh, this guy.
Next question coming in from Digital Slay. Pod question. I suffer from raid/mythic plus anxiety. Every time I want to do this content, I feel nervous and end up psyching myself out. I don't consider myself a bad player or anything. Just the idea of disappointing someone makes me anxious. I would really love to start doing this type of content. So what would be your best advice to help overcome this feeling? All right, Chicken, I'll pass this one to you.
Oof. Yeah, this is something that, I've struggled with in the past too. And it's something that I've kind of come to terms with, and you can't please everyone. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, at the end of the day, that's a big thing. And whether or not, this is something I've actually told my wife before, because she suffers from social anxiety and stuff. I've literally told her the odds of you seeing this person again are 1 in a million. The odds of you getting to a random pug with someone and then doing another pug with them are, and them remembering you as being bad, are probably pretty slim, very slim.
Even slimmer if you put them all on your block list.
Well, true, yeah, even slimmer. if you just do terribly in a dungeon, you just block everyone. No, jokes aside, it's the nature of the game, and if you start low, and if you tell people hey, I'm learning, I'm still in this phase where I just don't feel super comfortable, so bear with me. Most people are pretty understanding, especially at the lower keys. Yes. I mean, I don't think anyone's going to be no, you're trash, get out of my group. No, they're going to say, yeah, that's fine. I get it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Never be afraid to be hey guys, I'm kind of new to this learning, right? If I were to give you a very practical, just do this type step, right? Because I get it. We can give this advice, but it still makes it hard. I'll also admit, dude, I get anxious about Raid and Mythic Plus. I get anxious. doing M plus, like every time I do, that's why I've enjoyed healing this season, because I was just getting real anxious tanking. I love tanking. I think tanking is a blast, but I get nervous about letting people down, about doing a route that they don't like, or by failing a pull, whatever, right? So healing this season has been kind of a nice change of pace for that. But again, I brick a key, I brick 2 keys, and all of a sudden, all right, I'm done for the day. I don't want to handle it, right? It happens to all of us. There are definitely players who don't get remotely anxious about it. That's not me. I do. If I was to give you practical, though, like, hey, here's something that you can do. We just had our little ad read for our guild, Astra. And by the way, I just want to clarify, our guild doesn't pay us to do those. That was something Chick and I decided that we want to do because we value our guild. We love our guild. And we want to share that. Our guild, though, Astra hosts a weekly Mythic Keys event for all player levels. So, like, if you're like, I've never done an M plus before, I want to learn, sign up for a +2. Sign up for a +2. We'll get you in a group with some people who are explaining mechanics, who are helping you out. They can be in voice chat with you, walking you through fights. Even if things go wrong, even if you're mopping the floor the whole time, who cares? You're going to have a good time. Like, you can't fail it. Like, you just can't fail because you're not there to impress them. They just want to do that with you. They just want to be there with you for it, right? Like, they get excited when they know they get to help somebody in their first couple keys. Our guild loves doing that. On top of that, we also run what we call Academy Nights. And so our Academy Raid Nights, we run through normal. Now, I think they might be switching to Heroic now, so that might be a little bit different. Depends on your player skill. You might still be able to jump in. Kind of depends. But they'll run through normal and teach all the mechanics and teach all the fights, and even do so now in Heroic. Teach the fights, teach the mechanics. Raid, I actually think, is easier than Mythic, because the whole point of Raid is you keep smacking yourself against the boss until you beat the boss, and then you move on. Now, Raid pugs are different. Pugs don't want to do that. Pugs just want to get a quick clear and get done. But like when you're raiding with a guild or something, they know that's what they're in there for. They know they're in there to learn that fight together as a group and overcome it together as a group. But even still, raid anxiety can be a thing. Like, dude, I was excited to start healing. I was excited to start healing this season, but man, dude, I get competitive, and I feel down when like the other healers are doing better than me, right? Like we got some awesome healers in our guild. Like Burnick crushes it, right? Brink is doing amazing. Faye's doing great, right? We have like all these people in our guild who are just doing such a good job, and I'm just like trying to keep up. I mean, like, I don't want to be the bottom. I don't want to be the bottom healer. At least like second. Put me in second, right? So, that anxiety maybe never goes away, but you learn how to enjoy your time doing it, and you learn how to maybe be anxious about the things that actually matter and not so worried about the things that don't, right? But all that said, though, if I was to give like 2 hard steps, like if you do these 2 things, it'll help. My 2 steps would be come raid with us, come do dungeons with us, or find another guild, right? Guilds in general are the best way to do that. And I know people are like, oh, I found a guild, but I don't do anything with them. Then that's probably not the right guild. Find the guild that's like able to support what you want to do, right? Our next question coming in from Wargramps. I love Wargramps. Hopefully I got this question before you all started recording. I was watching a guy tanking on a Blood DK on Twitch, and he was doing great. Holding aggro, second on the damage meters, etc. Swag, do you have plans to tank with your DK this season, or just sticking with your healer? As for me, I'm going to start gearing my DK. The honest answer is yes, but I don't know how. And what I mean by that is I absolutely 100% do plan on coming back to my DK. My original plan was to get Keystone Legend this week on my healer and then just go play my DK. But I don't know what that means because I haven't gotten Keystone Legend yet, so I still want to push Keystone Legend on my healer. And I don't know if I'm going to go right into my DK and just start grinding out dungeons on my DK, or if I'm going to make another DK for Legion Remix and just play that to like warm back up and have fun doing it. Whatever it is, I do plan on getting back into my Death Knight. Even if I make an alt DK going into the next expansion, I'll go back to my main DK. But I have options. All I'm saying is there's options. I do plan on going back. I was sad about Slappy Hands leaving. I was sad about the state of how DK felt the last couple seasons. But I've been watching some people run dungeons, and it is looking good. But I'm thankful I had a break. Anytime I've taken the break from Death Knight and gone back to it, it just feels so good. There are those times where it just feels so good when you get to like return to something.
Yeah.
All right. Cal Ryu said, "Hey, Swag." And also, I want to apologize to Chicken because a lot of these are like specific alpha questions or whatever. And so I do want to apologize, right, to Chicken for that.
That's fine.
Calorie says, "Hey, Swag, I've got to know how it's been playing without weak orders. Did you feel like the game UI was good enough? I think I'm overall excited about no combat add-ons, but a little nervous that Blizz will unintentionally make it real hard to track what is needed to operate my class well, especially as a Brewmaster, i.e. Stagger and Purifying. That Brewmaster is a great example of this because Brewmaster has a Purifying Stagger mechanic that the game does not actually give you any tracking information on at all. It just doesn't. It just doesn't. And you need to use weak orders to create a tracker so you can keep track of it, right? I was playing Brew a whole lot season 1, and like legit, it completely changed how I played that class once I got a weak order for it because I just didn't know it existed. I didn't realize that was such a vital part of playing my class, and Blizzard never gives you any information about it. And in fact, the actual tooltip, like if you asked a Blizzard employee, they'd be like, "Oh, the tooltip tells you it's there." No, the tooltip definitely does not. The tooltip kind of hints that there's some correlation there, but like it doesn't outright say it. It just kind of hints at it, right? So, what I will say, Calryu, is that from what I understand, and I haven't tested out Brew, I might go take a look at Brew. I might read up on it, but from what I understand, is a lot of those things are going away. So I believe that Stagger Purifying thing is actually going away, going into Midnight. Or if it's not going away, they'll probably make a visual for it, or people will throw a fit until they make a visual for it. Otherwise, I'm not really noticing. I do use weak orders quite a bit, but like I can live without them. And the cooldown manager that Blizzard has is good enough in its current state for what I use weak orders for in terms of like monitoring my spells and abilities. I'm gonna miss weak orders for tracking mechanics on bosses. That's a little different. But I haven't been doing a lot of combat stuff on Alpha, so I can't say for sure. But what I will say, though, is like Blizzard's rebuilding these classes so that they aren't reliant on these third-party add-ons for combat. Because for the longest time, Blizzard didn't have to innovate or fix these issues because add-ons would fix them, right? They didn't have to put a meter in the game for Purifying Stagger because an add-on could do it. And now Blizzard has to do it, right? So I actually think this is good, ultimately good. Okay.
Yeah.
Favorite. Okay, this is coming from Tiger Ace Ray. Favorite upcoming feature in Midnight. What class do you plan to play in Remix? I did mention that I was planning to play DK in Remix. Favorite upcoming feature in Midnight. Player housing. Boom. Chicken, what about you?
I think I'm gonna play Demon Hunter in Remix, and I would probably have to say, probably player housing. I think it's, I don't know. I feel like it's one of the only features coming at this point. Maybe not like, you know what I mean? Not like specifically, oh, it's the only feature coming, but it's obviously the biggest one.
Not Algathar Academy?
Right? Yeah, I mean, that's pretty cool. Low-key, I was kind of surprised that they would already bring back a Dragonflight dungeon, but then I was like, oh, wait. They're already bringing back Shadowlands dungeons, so never mind.
Yep, yeah, we had Shadowlands dungeons this expansion, right? So
yeah, I was like, that's a big bad on my part. Anyways. Yeah, probably player housing.
Yep. All right, last question coming in from Sean, another alpha question. What has been your favorite thing in the alpha that you were surprised by? What do you think, Chico? I guess you didn't play alpha. Never mind. I tried to pass the question to you, and then I was like, oh, I'll play it off as if Chicken would, because I live streamed something, so I was like, I'll play it off as if Chicken watched the live stream. And then remember you didn't.
I watched a little bit of it, just not much.
So that's a tough question. Favorite thing that I was actually surprised by, because I think I expected most of it. Oh, you know what was one interesting thing, Chicken? I don't think this is my favorite, but I was caught off guard. They now have modern and legacy movement options. So by default...
I did see that, actually. I'm not going to lie. I tuned into your stream, and that was like the only thing I saw from your stream. Not going to lie.
So you tuned in, you're like, wow, Swag's talking about me.
At one point, yes.
Yeah, perfect. And he didn't even say anything. But anyways, so basically the modern versus legacy movement options are... modern is using... like A and D as strafe rather than Q and E as strafe is essentially what it does. which is what a lot of players do so they can free up their Q and E buttons for more keybinds and stuff. But I would say, and this is gonna sound odd, but dude, when I knew I was excited for Silver Moon City. Like, I knew I was excited for Silver Moon City because I love Silver Moon. But I can't express enough how much Blizzard actually knocked this city out of the park. That one building, dude, I can't get over that building. Whatever that building is, it's some like light-infused building in the middle of the city. It looks like it's where the quest hub's going to be for the expansion. It's so beautiful, dude. It's so beautiful. Oh my gosh, it's gorgeous. I'm thrilled, dude. I'm thrilled for that. That one building tells me that Blizzard has upped their design game, and I can't wait to see what the raid looks like the raids look like internally. I can't wait to see what the other zones are looking like. Even going into, I went into one of the like overgrowth areas caused by the light, and those were really beautiful. Kind of almost reminds me of Miss Pandaria a little bit in a weird way, but gorgeous. So, yeah.
Interesting.
Well, that is almost everything for this week's episode of the podcast. I want to take a second, chat. I want to take a second, and I want to do something that honestly I've never once done before on the podcast, and I'm probably never again gonna do on the podcast. This might be a one-time thing,
one and done. But you know what though? I need to mention it. I love listening to World of Warcraft podcasts. I'm assuming y'all love listening to World of Warcraft podcasts as well, hence why you're here. And I know, listen, as much as I want to pretend that this is the only WoW podcast y'all are listening to, I know as well as you do that you guys are probably listening to like 7 WoW podcasts, right? You got one for every day of the week. That's smart. But let's say you don't have one for every day of the week, right? Guys, I was listening to a new podcast this week that just blew my mind. These guys did such an amazing job. Brand new podcast about World of Warcraft. Again, I never do this, and I'm probably never going to do this ever again. And I will say they mentioned us in their podcast episodes, so that was kind of cool. But I was thinking this before I even heard that little shout-out, okay? This was something I knew I wanted to do, like, 3 minutes into the podcast. Like, right away, I was like, I gotta do this. I suggest if you're looking for another podcast to add to your repertoire, please don't abandon us. If you have to, I get it. But I would suggest checking out, it's a podcast called Good Morning Azeroth. And it's basically a radio show, like a morning show type podcast about World of Warcraft. And you're going to love it. It is so well done, so well produced. The guys behind it have done an incredible job. I just have to mention it because it's something I came across this week that I enjoyed so much. And I know you all will enjoy it too. And so that's why I bring it up. Again, we're never going to do this. I'm probably never going to shout out another podcast like this again. Like Podyssey, who are they? The Bench, never heard of them. All right. But this podcast, there's something special to it. So check it out. It's called Good Morning Azeroth. I encourage you to give it a listen, especially now that this podcast is over for this week. We will be back next week. Okay, we're not like done. Okay, we'll be back. Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah. Hopefully.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. Who knows? Maybe not. I don't know. We'll find out.
No, we'll be back.
Maybe.